Snowy Oklahoma. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Chilly temperatures outside in the Red River rivalry inside. The Sooners of Oklahoma trying to protect their home court again this afternoon as the Texas Longhorns come calling. Horns on the bubble, according to our good friend and yours, the bracketologist Joe Lenardi. So glad you could join us. John Crispin, Roy Philpott courtside. Texas needs a win. They're trying to enhance the resume. OU's trying to stop a skid.
Yeah, both teams need a win, and in a way, I'm rooting for both of them. Because these are two guys, two good coaches that really need one. I think OU a little bit more than Texas. But Texas is a team that has an NCAA tournament level lineup, but they haven't had the consistency that Sean Miller needs. Now, there is one guy in terms of Dalen Swain who has been consistent on the floor, particularly over the last 3 games. Absolutely terrific, over 28 points a game, 6+ rebounds in the last 3 games, playing over 37 minutes a game. They're going to need his consistency, but also his feel on the other end. It's Nigel Pack, 25-point performance, 22-point performance the last 2 games. We remember him as like the NIL darling in the early days of the NIL before we just broke into Brinks trucks and had $20 million payrolls. Nigel Pack was that guy. He's grown up a lot. He's matured. He understands how to feel out the game a lot better. He's going to have to play his best game for them to finally get a win after 7 straight losses.
Late arriving crowd, but the ones that are here and that have showed up early are loud and on their feet, and we expect it to be rocking here at Lloyd Noble.
You and I got a few towels too. We got a few towels too for the children.
That's always a good thing. Just about set, ready to go. Vokatitis and Wagee tip things off, and we are underway. Sooners get it first, go to work. You mentioned the losing streak. They have been close. It has been Heartbreak Hotel, it feels like, in 3 of the last 4 setbacks. From 15, and a good start for Xavier Brown. Starting 5 for the Horns, led by Dalen Swain, the 28 points per game that he's been averaging the last 3. Jordan Pope went off against the Sooners last year in 2 tilts. He'll get the start again for head coach Sean Miller. And for the Sooners, how about this? John, the same starting 5 in every single game this year, all 21. And the leading scorer, you talked about Nigel Pack and Xavier Brown, right at 16 points per.
That's rare for 2 reasons. Number 1, everybody's got to stay healthy. Number 2, you barely know who your team is. I think a part of that lineup being consistent is the fact that you don't have confidence is what you have coming off the bench.
Shot clock under 10 and a foul. Wagee, some 30 feet from the rim, picks up his first.
And those are the little things. Like, I'm going to pay attention differently to this game, to the littlest of things that when you add them all up, it leads to a win or a loss, right? Porter Moses talked a lot about just making winning plays. Well, let's define that, right? Well, that's not a winning play, a foul 30 feet from the basket with 9 seconds on the shot clock after playing good defense.
Horns coming off a setback at Auburn, a game in which they led by double figures. Right around halftime, the Tigers came roaring back at home. Texas with 3 wins against ranked foes in league play this year, and a steal by Pack. Pack off and running. Got it swiped away, and Pope picks it up. Sooners pitching a shutout thus far, and the Horns back to work. Dalen Swain inside was bumped, and the contact will be the first foul on Tay Davis.
That's going to be a tough matchup. Whoever's got to deal with Dalen Swain so long as he gets space and good ball movement there, which frankly I thought there was a 3-point opportunity there for Heidi. He's been really good. Transition 3s are there, and it applies a different kind of pressure when you're, I don't know, 3-4, whatever he is able to space the floor in transition. It's going to open up opportunities for Vokatitis in transition, but when Dalen Swain gets a clean look, he's one of the toughest covers on the floor.
And we talked with Sean Miller about Swain in particular this morning. And he said it's his playmaking ability. He really didn't talk about him as a shooter, but he's going to be the guy that initiates the offense, that gets Vokatitis the basketball in scoreable spots, if you will.
Well, I think he creates the advantage. He may not initiate the offense all the time, but they get the ball to him and they ask him to create the advantage that the rest can benefit from. So I think a big piece of that is they don't really have a point guard.
Pack from downtown, and it's all net. And a foul was called as well. Heidi's going to pick up the personal. So,
killer. It's an absolute killer. I mean, good stuff. Inside-out basketball. Relocate from Nigel Pack. If it's a shot he can get off, it's a good look. See underneath where the foul is. Oh, it's pass blocking.
So a three-point possession already. A chance for more here.
I wouldn't have called it, but I get it.
Pack surveys. That'll be a three. And the Horns have it. Yelatonsiv on the floor early for head coach Porter Moser.
Good chance for you to get that name right early, too.
We like to do that, right? We've been working on it. Tremont Martin with the mid-range. That's his shot, not this time. Sooners by 3 with possession. And Xavier Brown took a tumble. No contact. It's a good no call there. And the held possession will go the other way.
I think good start for both teams. I think Texas does need to be aggressive early. I think they could thrive with a little bit of pace on this game, mainly because they've got more depth. Now, they don't have great depth either, but I do think the depth for Texas is a little bit better than what Oklahoma's going to have coming off the bench.
I mean, you look at OU's numbers and its stats this year, and it's really the starting five. And may try to sprinkle in Dayton Forsyth a little more today. Vokatitis with a touch to make it a one-point game.
And that's good for Texas. I asked Sean Miller if he was the point guard of this team, what would you do? And the first thing he said was, get it to Vokatitis. And I was like, okay, you're right. That's something that they have to make a conscious effort. If he's got position, he's got to get the ball.
Pack will be hounded by Pope. 8 on the shot clock, and another 3, and this time it's buried. Yelatonsiv from deep. He had 4 in one game just 2 weeks ago.
If you want to get Vokatitis out of the game, the best way to do it is make him work defensively, particularly in a ball screen pick and pop situation.
Vokatitis wanted the foul call, didn't get it. Sooners by 4, and now it's Swain. Heidi, 5 of 6 his last time out at Auburn, not this time. Tay Davis on the move. Little shake and bake, he forgot the ball. Somehow got it back.
That was more like a shaky bake.
Xavier Brown off glass.
Is that fair?
That's valid.
Right.
Hey, Sooners off to a good start. We've seen this in some of their recent games. Go back to Arkansas, their last time out midweek. We mentioned the game against Missouri and Alabama. They were so close in games in which they played so well to begin.
These times you watch games and you say they don't deserve that. I would say that Missouri game, nobody really deserves that. 2 buzzer beaters.
Shot clock at 5, Tremont Martin. Back iron.
The defense so far been good for Oklahoma, obviously taking things away inside and then defending the perimeter. Offensively, they've got weapons.
Yelatonsiv thought about it. And now it's Pack. He's trying to spring loose for a 3. He does, and he connects. His second triple. It's 13-4. And Sean Miller wants a timeout.
Ball screen coverage. It's been an issue at times for Texas. You know, you got a big out there. He's going to stay low, and you've got a three-point shooter. You got to trail hard, but you got to take that shot away.
It's still
it's
here.
It's not snowing, dog.
I mean, I think it snowed a little bit last night. Big possession early for the Horns. Dalen Swain. 2 free throws. 2 of the 4 points for UT. And an air ball on the fadeaway.
A lot of clappable defensive possessions for OU. That's a good way to start a game.
2 split the season series last year. And Sean Miller, year number 1, coming in from Xavier, of course, in Arizona. And it's been quite an introduction with him into the SEC. When you look at some of the teams that they've defeated already, 3 against ranked foes, including Vanderbilt, Georgia on the road in Tuscaloosa. And, you know, it's no easy task to accomplish those wins in the early going, but it's games like this where you got to try to find a way to eke out a victory to protect the resume and get it going.
Yeah, I also think, like, it's hard to learn your team on the fly, as everybody's doing, but it's even harder to do when you don't have a set point guard, a game-managing point guard. It's kind of the conversation we had about Dalen Swing, where that's the role Sean Miller is almost asking him to play. Be the playmaker, create the advantage, and make others better. It's a tough ask for your guy who's going to play anywhere from the 2 to the 5 position.
Nigel Pack's got 8, including 2 threes. The foul was on Pope. That's his first. 5 minutes in, it is all OU. Rory checks in for the first time for the Horns. Corner 3, no. And saved. It pops out to Wilcher. Fresh 20, here's Jordan Pope. And finally claimed by the Sooners. Yelatansa has been active in the early going with a 3 and that rebound. And the penetration by Reed.
Never a good thing when defensive transition ends up with a bunch of guys looking around with their hands in the air. Poor communication gives up baskets.
Another big possession for Texas. Wilcher outside to Pope, and the runner from 15 is good.
That was better action. There was actually rhythm in the movement. And sometimes you have to create rhythm with ball movement. That time they did it, and Jordan Pope was able to get a nice little runner on the baseline.
Stops a run of 5 straight misses for the Horns. And Pope was electric in this building a year ago. In fact, in 2 games against OU, combined for 48 points. Brown left open for a minute. Couldn't get the bounce. If you talk to Joe Lunardi this time of year, he has Texas currently, John, his last team in the field. So every game becomes paramount for this team and its first-year head coach, Sean Miller. A resume featuring those marquee wins, some close losses, including on the road at Auburn on Wednesday night. Horns trail by 11 early here.
That play didn't work out for Oklahoma, but that shows the maturity of Nigel Pack. He made the right play.
Vocatitis, no. It's a running jump hook in the paint.
Well, that's what happens when you don't get the ball for a while. You take a tougher one.
Lob it out to Reed. Back to Brown. Brown. And a tip in.
Trying to see a little mismatch there. Vocatitis gets stuck on Brown. Brown attacks. It's the offensive rebounder who benefits because Vocatitis is covering the ball.
Yelatansa averaging 5 points per game already with 5 points here in the Red River rivalry.
Thanks for capping it off with his name.
I'm trying to help you out. There you go.
I'll get it. It's just in the moment. It's difficult.
You're throwing strikes right out of the gate. 19-6, as are the Sooners. Yelatansa was picked up by Vocatitis. Nigel Pack, no. Box out was there. And some contact. We saw Juanquo full head of steam. And that gets us to the under 12 media timeout. The Sooners scorching hot to start the 13-point lead here in Norman. If you're trying to get back in Joe Lunardi's good graces, John, you got to win a game like this. And for Porter Moser, he did win the last time these two teams met up in a big game in Austin to end the regular season last year. He would love to make it 2 in a row.
Well, so far, so good. I mean, they came out buying into the defensive end. That was going to be the initial key. Then can you maintain that throughout the course of the game? And can you also find it on the offensive end, which they absolutely have. I like picking up full court. You got to wonder legs over time. You get tired, particularly down low. You've got to be careful with your bigs, especially how hard Vocatitis works down low. It'll wear you out.
Horns have missed 8 of 9. Is there anything you want to see different? Because it feels like Texas offensively has been a little stagnant to start here.
Sometimes when you're trying to feed the post, you're sacrificing space. And you limit the places you could pass the ball. They've got limited in the first few minutes of this game to skip passes to create space that was unable to get with Vocatitis down low. Smaller lineup on the floor. I'm looking to see if they can create space with this group.
Swain has created quite a bit of space in his last 3, averaging more than 28 points per. Dump off to Weaver, and that's a good start.
I think Weaver's a guy who probably has to play bigger minutes in this contest because he can kind of fit anywhere. You don't have to do anything for him, and he just finds the right spot.
And we've talked to him this year, and you referred to him as the glue guy, and player that seems to make all the right decisions for the most part for Sean Miller. I've referred to him as that. You talk about his decision making.
Well, I say so much that I forget what I say.
Sometimes I remind you.
Yep.
Off the screen, here's Pack. That's a long 2. And this is where Swain can be dangerous, initiating the offense for the Horns. Instead, it's the handoff to Wilcher. Heide was open for a moment. Now it's Swain. In and out from downtown. And there's Weaver on the deck. Saves the possession. Swain. He'll shoot 2. And the foul on McGee. That's going to be his second. That's a big call.
It is a big call. And that's where we're really trying to clean up the block charge. And this is probably as much of a charge as you could get, but there's still that snarky part of me that loves the call because I like when the rules favor offense. We've had so many rules that in a way it favors defense or creates a game that favors defense.
Don't forget Sunday, that's tomorrow on ESPN, also on the ESPN app. The Women's College Game Day crew will be at Moody Center down in Austin. 2 pack of games afterwards, Baylor, WVU, and Morgantown to 1 o'clock on ESPN. Then over on ABC, the Red River rivalry and a top 10 showdown on the women's side, Oklahoma and Texas. Chavez, Madison Booker, Rory Harmon, and what a scene that will be. The Lone Star State tomorrow afternoon on ABC.
It's Moody. It never disappoints. That place is awesome. Mainly because we get our own dressing room.
We do like that.
Yeah, we do.
Dayton Forsyth on the floor. He's got 2 bad ankles. Starting to heal up a little bit. Try to get some much-needed minutes for Porter Moser this afternoon. Yellow Santev. He's got 7.
A little bit of an accident in there. The ball got deflected, but he maintained control and was able to finish it. Looked pretty.
Averages 5 per game, has 7 already. Weaver saves the errant throw. Halfway home in the first.
Really extending this defense out.
Forsyth forced the turnover against Wilcher. Almost a chance for 3. He wanted it. This crowd at Lloyd Noble certainly wanted it. Instead, he'll shoot a pair.
This was a really clean-looking take. It probably wasn't as clean as making it out to be, but this is pretty. The pump fake loses it a little bit, finishes on the opposite side. It's tough because you got a big that you almost have to fall for the pump fake because you trust he can make it. How about Forsyth? 1 bad ankle's enough. I'll tell you that, man. 2 bad ankles. He's got the kickstart ankle braces on there. Those are the big ones where you can't even tie your shoes as tight anymore.
Yeah, we haven't
you know what I'm
seen.
saying? Like, you see those? You go to tie your shoes, it's like you're wearing 6 pairs of socks.
Gutting it out. Of course, he won the 3 state championships at Dale High School, Class 2A, here in Oklahoma. Sooners with their largest lead at 14. 3 state titles, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot of hardware.
We like winners.
Mark picked up Jadon Jones.
See, the problem is Tremont Mark was in a situation where he could score, but he couldn't score because Vokatitis was on the block. Like, if Tremont Mark's going to get the ball at the top of the key or the foul line area, Vokatitis has to get short quarter as quickly as he can possibly get, unless it's an obvious high-low situation.
Timer down to 3. And Swain out of bounds. It goes back to OU.
It's good defense. You could just see there's a different buy-in today. And the energy was, I don't know, how would you describe it today? It was.
I thought it was good.
It's like tempered.
I thought it was good.
We'll call it focused.
And
right?
shoot around.
Focused energy. But they're delivering so far.
Davis. And Vokatitis clears. Horns already in a danger zone on the road. Vokatitis, the hesitation in the Euro.
Short roll, we talked a lot about that with Sean Miller. It doesn't have to be get Vokatitis the ball in the paint. It's use him in a ball screen situation and then trust him to make a play in a short roll situation.
8.5 minutes remaining in the first. Tap back, Sooners, Xavier Brown. And now it's Swain. To Weaver. Second time we've seen that action, and the second time it pays off.
Weaver getting the easy 8-footers that are far more difficult than you think. In a fast-paced game, getting an 8-foot jump shot is not easy.
And he needed just about every square inch of the rim to get that one to drop. It did.
I mean, sometimes those little 8-footers are how you get good shooters out of a horse game of horse. You shoot easy ones.
The ones that are close to the rack.
They're hard.
Right. That typically would get me. How about the energy that Dayton Forsyth has brought to the arena today? You saw the rejected pass out of bounds moments ago, defending Jordan Pope. Nearly had a chance for the and one moments ago, too.
But you also root for the guy that you know is dealing with 2 bum wheels.
On cue. To Jones in the corner.
How'd that shot look to you?
Difficult.
All right.
That would be one word to describe it.
Like difficult to go in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okatitis and Mark will play the 2-man game, and here comes Pope. The rotation, beautiful on this possession. Weaver from downtown. Well, Kendall Weaver, you don't think about him as a 3-point shooter, just his 8th of the season in 36 attempts. And the Horns right back in it, the lead down to 7.
Trying to climb back into this game. Well, you need good offensive possessions. Well, what's a good offensive possession? Well, you've got to be able to create an advantage that also creates a chase. Now the defense is chasing the play. Good ball movement, attack, draw some, kick out, open 3. Weaver knocks it down. By the way, he's been really good when he's in the game. I think he's one of the more important guys that probably doesn't get enough love. Important on the defensive end, important in the energy department. And he knocks down shots and gets open. But that was the best possession of the day so far for Texas.
14-point advantage for the Sooners has been sliced in half. John Crispin, Roy Philpott here at Lloyd Noble. And poked out of bounds by Tremont Mark with 7:12 to go. Boy, everything in the SEC this year. If you talk to coaches, Oklahoma's lost 7 games in a row. The rest of the conference, plenty of respect for Porter Moser and this team this year, as close as they have been in some of those last-second setbacks.
In conference play anymore, it's just every game feels wide open. Some of the best teams in the country, you still know they can be beaten, and that's what Tremont Mark does. How about that for an analysis?
Mark
That's
on
what
the
he
attack.
does.
Yes, it is. But I mean, the mid-range and the attack of the rim, it's where he's been sensational. You talk about those close setbacks for OU, and if you're a Sooners fan, just turn away from the screen for a moment, because all 3 of those were there for the taking. The Mizzou game on the road was there twice, the end of regulation and at the end of OT, before Pierce and then Mitchell happened.
That's Jordan Pope wanting to get the ball inside, but not having the angle to do so.
What is that angle? Needs to be 45 degrees. Another bucket for Pack. He's now in double figures.
It needs to be enough to be able to get the ball in there.
Okay. So whatever that
you
is
mathematicians
required.
and all your numbers.
I'm thinking 45 degrees.
You've got to take one extra dribble towards the sideline so that he can keep the defender on his back, but stays on the top side. Now the pass is inside. You keep the defender on your back. Now he's away from the basket. You got an easy layup. Sounds easy, but you know they are battling down there.
45 degrees. Got it outside to Swain. Against Davis, lost the grip, no traveling violation. He wanted the foul and a chance for 3. Instead, a tough bucket in traffic.
I'm just saying he lost the ball a little bit on the way.
Pack the other way, in and out. Forsythe. Back to Pack, he's left wide open. He's gonna make that shot 9 times out of 10.
Nigel Pack doesn't get a lot of easy ones. To that point, sometimes the open shots for really good shooters are the most difficult shots. Why? Because you're not used to getting them, and they have a different rhythm into the shot. It almost feels weird.
Pack has 13 of OU's 28. Vokatitis, a great lob from Weaver. Collects and finishes.
I mean, this looks like one of those NBA threes where, you know, the ball moves a little bit, 3 guys fall on the floor, and you're that wide open. I like the fact that he didn't wait, not a split second. He just caught, rise and fire.
3 of 4 from deep. Stops a run of 5 straight OU misses from behind the three-point arc.
The last thing you want as a good shooter is an extra second to think about it. You're only going to mess up the shot.
You're a big rhythm dribble guy, too.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you claim that. Pack sometimes doesn't even need it.
Love it. It's good action. Really good two-man action with Nigel Pack. He's grown as a player.
Yelatontsev off the mark. Vokatitis was hammered. And they're going to say offensive.
Yeah, but is this going to be one of those? We talked to Sean Miller in a way. It's almost like you live with one flagrant a game. And these are the types, right? Elbow gets high. That's where he's just got to be. He's got to be better. But again, Tremont Mark. I'm going to say a little of that foul is on Tremont Mark because of the lack of the angle. If you get the angle by dribbling to the right, Vokatitis doesn't have to seal with his elbow. He can seal with his body.
How about the spark for Yelatontsev? 7 points, draws the offensive foul there. The elbow came up first before the contact from him. And now it's Brown. Back to the Horns.
I think what Yelatontsev has done is he's spaced the floor on the offensive end. He's allowed playmakers to be playmakers. And that's where guys like Nigel Pack thrive. They have room to work. Decision-making is a lot easier when you have space. That's why defenses try to close space.
28-22. Texas has won 6 straight in this building, including last season in mid-January. And now it's Mark. Skip pass to Wilcher, the transfer from St. John's. Mark's got to go. And a shot clock violation. The 3 on the run was off the mark. The lead at 6, and Porter Moser fired up here at home. We cannot wait back here in Norman, Oklahoma. And one of those court stormings taking place in the Big 12 right before we came on the air.
No, you didn't hear what he said.
What?
2 court stormings in the same game.
Yes. Oh, in the same game.
You get it?
So there was just 2 teams involved?
No, it's a tease. You have to watch halftime.
No, I was just going to tell you that Texas Tech lost.
Man, I'm just trying to keep an audience.
Have you heard of social media? You can look and see. They're going to give you the insight, the detailed analysis. That's how that works.
I'm old school.
Lead is 6, 3.5 to go. John Crispin, Roy Philpott.
Coach Crean's right, though. This is a Texas team that has started to find the game now. I do think they started to find it when they went to the smaller lineup. Vokatitis off the floor again. They had better ball movement. They had guys that could break you down off the bounce, and they had space to work.
And you feel like there's more of a sense of urgency with Texas on this end of the floor, and the floater by Wilcher.
Yeah, but with no Vokatitis there on either block, there's no secondary defender, so a simple rip-through leads to a nice little run.
A 14-point lead now at 4. And the Horns have made 7 straight field goals after OU's hot start. See if Pack can get going, and he can. The runner off glass with 15 now.
That was good defense, just more veteran offensive execution from Nigel Pack. Just kind of flaring it out, coming back off the ball screen.
Troy, and inside to Heidi. The transfer from Purdue. With the dunk, we think about his skill set. It's more from 3-point range. Lead back down to 4. Boy, Wilcher right in the kitchen of Pack. So no Vokatitis, and Texas has been a team in motion these last couple of possessions.
I think it's been good with Traore as a ball mover out around the perimeter. game just opens up. Your 5-man is your ball mover and screener from the top of the key. It opens the floor. Little simple short roll. He's still not occupying the block. There's so much space on the floor. Skip pass gives Cam Heide a nice 23-footer.
5 of 6 from 3 at Auburn, his first triple of this one. And the lead down to 1. The Horns have made 9 consecutive shots from the floor. And now the defense has picked up a notch or two. There's a steal. And Texas in search of its first lead here at the end of the first half. John, this has been kind of the story of OU's season. They get off to good starts. They have the lead in the second half, and then it falters down the stretch. Mark, an air ball from the corner. Darion Reed. Well, he was going to attack the rim one way or another. He draws the contact and was fouled.
Good ball movement, but again, I keep saying good spacing. They've got to be able to figure out how to create good spacing with Vokatitis on the floor. That movement gets a defense chasing, and with good space, you got a lot of room to cover. Multiple three-point shooters around the perimeter. That's good Texas offense. Now, I will say, yes, Oklahoma has struggled, and they've, in a way, given up games that they seem to have a certain handle on. Not control of, but a handle on. This has been Texas. Texas has found the game.
Coming up tonight on ABC, the ESPN app, Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq will get you set for Mavs Rockets at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And after the game, fellas will be back as they break it all down like only they can do inside the NBA before and after. Dallas, Houston, Mavs, Rockets, always a great matchup in the association.
I loved watching some of the, almost the behind the scenes of the inside the NBA. And just kind of hearing Ernie talk about how, you know, he's a professional broadcaster. And the job he's doing with that crew is a little different, right? And how long it took to kind of figure out where to let him go and who to let go and how to do it. I think it was fascinating.
Vokatitis to Weaver, fouled on the way. And he will shoot two. Well, the great look, the high-low action we've seen, and you talked about the ball movement, the rotation has been pristine.
But that was more of a little short roll. Don't just go to the block. I mean, he's going to be an active screener here. Look, short roll. There he is. Draw 2 secondary defenders from the backside and make the right play. And surprise, it's Weaver. I just feel like he's involved in so many good things.
Pack checks back in with his game-high 15 points. If I didn't know any better, you are campaigning for Kendall Weaver to be inserted into Sean Miller's starting 5.
Part of me is. I think because it gives you a little firepower off the bench, but he also establishes an energy for the game. I think the initial energy that you put on the game matters. And if you don't have a true lead point guard, it's hard to establish the game. So you rely on energy players to establish the way the game's going to be played. I think Weaver plays a big part of it. Maybe that's too psychological and philosophical. It's just how I feel.
We support how you feel. There's Brown from deep. Brown connects.
Feels good, too. You got multiple players on the floor that can shoot behind a ball screen. If you go underneath, that's dangerous.
Shot clock is off. One more shot coming for Texas. And it's Dalen Swain. Swain, no good. Now the 14-point lead down to 3 at the break. And a first half in which Texas never led the Sooners with the narrow advantage.
It's a really good first half of basketball. It started, Oklahoma came out hot. It's not that they gave up the game. It's just a very good Texas team started to find it. They found it with a smaller lineup. Be interesting to see how they utilize Vokatitis in the second.
33-30, our halftime score. Let's get you back to the studio. Zubin, Malcolm, Coach Crane. Gentlemen, take it away.
Roy, John.
This game if you're Texas.
Sooners did not trail in the first half. Pack led all scores with 15. OU red hot to start from deep. But it was Texas that ended the first in the midst of a 21-7 run. The lead was once 14. It was tied at 30. Before the 3 by Brown, and here we go to start the second. Sooners have lost 7 in a row after picking up that SEC opening victory against Ole Miss. Variety of close losses at home and on the road. They'll try to turn the tide tonight. Davis, the pump fake, and Swain able to hold his ground. It'll stay on this end.
And I really do like how they're bringing Vokatitis out to defend around the perimeter, defend multiple ball screens, even the tight curls where he's going to play flat. You got to make him cover guards. You got to make him cover contact, physicality with the big, and then scramble out to a three-point shooter. Like this lineup for OU.
Back with the coverage by Pope. No matter, forces one up. And the Horns with a rebound. That was Heidi. Now Texas currently the last team in the field according to Joe Lenardi. Technically a quad one opportunity in terms of the net rankings today for the Horns. Oklahoma is right at that cutoff line. The net ranking of 75. See if that holds by the end of the season. Vokatitis, 5 to shoot. Heidi left wide open. Cam Heidi, and we're tied at 33.
As soon as that ball got skipped out to a wide open Cam Heidi, you saw Porter Moser kick his leg out because he knew, darn it, we did everything right almost.
I mean, he's shooting over 52% from three-point range this year. Cam Heidi, he had some moments in that Final Four run by Purdue just a couple of years ago. And now in Austin. Here's Brown.
So many guys. Nigel Pack and Brown could just come off ball screens and then play based on whatever the defense does. If they trail hard, you get a tight curl, put a different kind of pressure on the defense. If they don't trail hard, you got three-point shooters.
Pack right on top of Heidi. The lob inside Vokatitis. That was too easy. Precision pass from Heidi.
It was. I'm going to start keeping an eye on seconds in the paint because I feel like he was there for a while.
Arion Reed get to the free throw line.
This is what Vokatitis does really well, though. He gets position. That's a great seal. Hold your position. Good no call for all the pushing that's going on down there. As the ball moves, he moves with the ball. He doesn't try to get topside so he can get a pass. He maintains position so the ball can be thrown over the top. It was a good pass to be made.
Reed at the line will get one more. Just 2 points. The foul was on Heidi. That's his second. And Kendall Weaver begins his second half on the bench. I'm going to mention to Sean Miller next time I see him on Tuesday. What are your thoughts maybe with the roster moving forward? Weaver and a little bit more love to start these halves.
I couldn't imagine something that coaches would despise more than an analyst thinking he knows what the heck he's talking about. Like as if I spent every day with that program. I'm just saying I like the energy.
Heidi to skip pass. Pope left open for a moment. And Vokatitis was held, trying to grab the board. Now Pack was right on top of him. And a host of his teammates.
Vokatitis is an annoying worker, right? He's one of those guys where, like, as an opponent, you're just annoyed with how hard he works for constant fight for position. It doesn't stop. Shot goes up, he's still fighting. Ball rotates, he's still fighting for position. That's why I asked Sean Miller, how many times does he get fouled before ones that get called? He's like, yeah, he does. And he does draw a lot of fouls, but, cylinder violation.
Now Reed caught an elbow in the face and is going to be called for the infraction for now.
I don't know if he really got. Let's see how close it was. Hey, you got caught a little bit. That's tough.
The call on the floor is a cylinder foul against Oklahoma 35. That play is under further review.
I like the idea of the cylinder as a potential violation because it helps clean things up. And oh, by the way, it does in a way favor the offense. But this one's tough. He's not in his space. That's a tough one.
Well, you see the early indication there from KB Burdett. Veteran officiating crew with Orlando Poole and Brian Dorsey.
I mean, Reed left his feet on that. And I look, man, sell it. Right? If you're going to take one in the chop, sell it.
He appears to be okay, and he was able to back away quick enough to not absorb a more ferocious elbow there.
I think it's a tough one because it's a basketball play to rip the ball through. Like, and if you're in that space, you're in that space.
The call on the floor against 35 White is confirmed. It is a cylinder foul. His right hand and chin is in the offensive player's cylinder with legal elbows to begin a normal basketball move.
Man, the dictionary definition.
Our rules analyst, KB Burnett, fantastic to describe it.
Man, he read the rule book.
And we don't need rules analysts. We have him.
Like, that was great.
Just mic up KB Burnett.
Man.
2-point lead. Texas back to work. Horns have never led in this game. Heidi thought about changing it right there. And instead, a little dipsy-do right at the rack.
Wow, and having Heidi, another guy that you have to buy on a pump fake. If you're not there and he pump fakes, you're closing out too hard to the point where he can get all the way to the rim. And I think his athleticism is one of those things that not enough people know about.
McGee back on the floor, had those 2 early fouls. And now it's Tay Davis. Pack has been the Oklahoma offense, not this time. Fresh 20 on the swipe, right to Reed.
Little stagnant feel for Oklahoma offensively. It's starting to feel like they're starting to search a little bit more as opposed to playing, which got him. This is good.
Backdoor cut for Nigel Pack.
So much concern about coming off that handoff and giving up a 3 that the back cut's wide open so long as there's no one occupying the block.
Yeah, John, it feels like OU has started the second half the way that Texas started the game.
Yes, like they're trying to find the game offensively.
Trying to spot Vocatitis. Pope thought about the lob.
I got 9 seconds in the paint for Vocatitis.
There's a spin. How about the footwork?
I don't care. He never left. It's really hard to cover the paint if you never leave. Well, I do care. It was a nice move.
A fleet of foot.
But I would love to go back and clock that one. He never left the paint.
Nate Oates was talking about Florida's bigs this week and had a similar thought inside to Reed. And Darion Reed going to shoot 2.
10 in the paint. Yeah, terrific move. Good luck stopping a one-on-one ISO situation 15 feet and in with no help. Advantage offense.
Cam Heidi just picked up his 3rd.
But guess who gets to come in?
And Reed will allow the return of Kendall Weaver.
Checking back into the Oklahoma lineup is Jeff.
Davis also with a breather for head coach Porter Moser. We asked the question of Porter Moser earlier this morning. You've been close, and he says, yeah, but close sucks.
Yeah.
And he said that a couple of times, and he understands. He knows how important this rivalry game is, of course, but also with where OU is in the course of the season at 1-7 with all of the close setbacks.
I also feel like more now than ever because the game flies. Year to year, the game is so different. Year to year, teams are so different. Like, the Final Four run feels like a lifetime ago. When I was in Chicago for that, that was fun.
At Loyola, Chicago, and a foul. Dalen Swain going to shoot 2. Texas in search of its first lead of this game when we come back to Norman.
They're the 2 best freshman pros right now, rookie pros, whatever we're calling them anymore. They're the 2 best freshman pros. Are they the 2 best freshmen in college basketball? That's a different conversation. I think they're completely different conversations with a lot of nuance. Caleb Wilson might be in there too.
Tied at 40. John Crispin, Roy Philpott. 6th time today we've been tied. And Texas now with its first lead.
I like those little hoops. I got kids.
Right behind the backboard there.
I can find a spot on the wall.
Got to be careful. You got to anchor that in into the sheetrock.
Find a stud, bro. Come on, man.
Just saying.
I went to trade school. I know these things.
Pack. Skip pass. Spots Reed. Great look in the delivery.
And they've been trying to find the game here in the second half. And the same thing that allowed Texas to find the game is allowing Oklahoma to find the game. That's good ball movement that creates rhythm within the offense.
Great game brewing here in the Red River rivalry. First of 2 meetings between these long-standing rivals. Weaver, no. Be the same 2 teams down in Austin the final Saturday of the regular season in the SEC, a conference which, according to Joe Lunardi, still has 10 teams in the NCAA tournament in his latest bracketology update. Is it too soon to talk bracketology in your mind?
Why do you ask me that question when you know I'm going to say yes? I don't
Like
want
a
to
lawyer.
hurt my man Joe Lenardi.
Right.
I appreciate it, and people do like talking about it. So yes, you can, but I think it's done more so as kind of a barometer as to where we are and what needs to happen.
Tremont Martin, the three-pointer, no, and the rebound grab on the run by Nwankwo.
Let me clarify that. It's not too early to have the conversation about where we are and what could or needs to happen. It's too early to say this is what's going to happen.
Makes sense, and there's Reed. He'll make sense on the attack.
2 in a row, good to get Reed going. He really didn't give you anything in the first half.
Dalen Swain gets the bounce inside in traffic. And Sean Miller right in the ear of KB Burdett back down the court. He wanted a foul. Darion Reed has scored OU's last 6 points. And Weaver controls a rebound.
That's good action and a good shot, though. That's something you can build off of.
Vokatitis put the shoulder down, lays it up and in, a no call.
Vokatitis is going to be a villain by the end of this season.
His skill set has been on display. Latansev wanted the charge, didn't get it. He'll shoot the three on the other end. Reed. Block charge, you tell me, sir.
Look, if you ask me, favor offense. So I can't stand charges. Look, best call in basketball, Roy. What's the best call in college basketball?
No call?
The no call. That's the best call. And the fact that they didn't blow a whistle is my favorite thing. I understand people want that charge, and it very well could have been.
It looked like a charge.
But as a guy who actually likes basketball rhythm and flow, I'm thrilled that a whistle was not blown.
Now, Reed's been on a heater now with 9 points. Make it 10, 8 of those coming in our second half in just less than 7 minutes.
I think a big piece of that is, teams make adjustments at halftime. And so you start to look at the ball screen coverage. So we need to take Brown away. We need to make sure Nigel Pack isn't getting opportunities from the perimeter where it's going to open up something else. And it happened so far to be Reed.
And now Reed has scored the last 8 for Oklahoma. Now, Darion Reed, a former member of the ESPN 100, and our good friend Paul Biancardi, building those rankings for all these years, the godfather of college basketball recruiting, as Wilcher has a kick by Brown. It was great being here courtside. We saw the Hall of Famer Barry Switzer.
That was awesome.
Off to our left, enjoying the game. No fur coat tonight, but it's great to see, Coach. We got Brent Venables right behind us. Stars are out here in Norman supporting Porter Moser and his basketball team. Pope inside, forced that one up and in, and Jordan Pope now with 4 points. He torched OU a year ago, and really the first time we've called his name today.
Well, they've done a good job running him off the three-point line, and that's the type of shot he's going to get. That's a tough shot to make. May have gotten fouled as well.
We went through the numbers. 48 points in 2 games against Oklahoma. Forsythe from deep. The Oklahoma native and sharpshooter.
Something better about when the guy who looks like he took off his cheerleader uniform and put a basketball jersey on.
Swain was stripped. Nwankwo. Oh, and Weaver went for a ride.
That was wild.
Everybody appears to be okay. It felt like Weaver was right on top of Nwankwo for about 5 seconds.
Everybody's booing. Weaver just mistimed his jump. There's nothing wrong with what he did. That looked like a 80s NBA foul almost.
Bill Lambier?
Yeah, that leads to like a 5-minute fist fight. And then we just resume ball with no technical fouls. What a day.
Sooners with a 3-point lead. The foul on Weaver and a timeout in Norman.
The call on the floor is age.
That last break, this veteran officiating crew went over to the scorer's table and decided to upgrade the common foul on Weaver to a flagrant 1, which means 2 free throws and the basketball. Sean Miller wanted to know, wait a second, it felt like he was going for the ball. And, of course, it was an uglier-looking foul. John, your reaction to that?
You can't officiate the outcome. Just because the outcome looked bad, you got to understand what's happening at the speed of this game. What Weaver did was try to time his jump to stop a shot. He didn't intend to do what ended up happening in a fast-paced game. So I think sometimes we look at these replays and we go, wow, that looks bad. Let's make it a flagrant. Fix that. Stupid. That's basketball. These things happen. This wasn't a malicious thing. It wasn't an elbow swing. It's just a tough, hard-nosed play. But to escalate that to a flagrant one, because that's what the rule book says, tells me we should address the rule book.
Nwankwo missed both free throws, right above 50% as a free throw shooter.
Ball don't lie, man.
Something to that. Forsythe made his first three since November 11th. Earlier today, stopped a run of 0 for his last 12 from deep. And the runner, well executed with a pass.
I think Forsythe's done really good things for him just by putting it on the floor, drawing defenders.
Wilcher, the quick trigger, in and out and back in.
I think it's nice with Forsythe on the floor. Yes, he can shoot the three, but he makes good, simple decisions where it's just draw two and get the ball moving. That's what creates the chase we talk about on the offensive end.
Oh, the bucket by Ilatantsev. He's got 9. The 3 by Wilcher, the lead back down to 2. Nigel Pack throws it up and in. He's got 19.
The game's starting to find itself. Both teams getting settled in the game, and now last 11 minutes or so, I think we're going to see more good basketball.
Sooners trying to end a 7-game losing streak after the win against Ole Miss to start league play. Longhorns at 3-5 in the SEC. And the swipe by Nwankwo. Against Weaver with a pass. Reed. Wilcher with a box out of Forsythe. Now it's Jordan Pope. Boy, Reed skied for that rebound in front of Heide.
Well, the key was he got back and got into position first.
You're so fundamentally sound as an analyst.
Oh, that's the compliment I get all the time.
Nigel Pack with 21.
And when he's got room, he's really tough. He does a good job of hitting you as a defender. He hits the defender, creates just enough space, gets the defender off balance, which is ultimately what the defense is trying to do.
Well, it feels like Oklahoma has weathered that early punch in the second half by Texas. Horns grab the lead, and here comes Nigel Pack.
And it's not from 3. He's been doing it off the bounce. Some tough finishes, but he's a really tough cover when he's got room. No dig down, easy offense for Nigel Pack.
OU and Texas, well, just means a little bit more when these two rivals get together. And the passion, the enthusiasm, the excitement between Texas and Oklahoma on full display. Meeting number 108 today in Norman. The first of 2 this season. Oklahoma with the advantage, but it's Texas that has won 8 of the last 9. Although the Sooners won their last matchup in the regular season last year. John Crispin, Roy Philpott, the lead for the home team at 6. Wilcher hit a 3 moments ago. Tremont Mark's been held in check so far tonight. Just 2 points. The Arkansas-Houston transfer. Dalen Swain split the double team, contact, and the blocking foul.
Love it.
Dalen Swain found a way, count the basket.
I know there's somebody inside of you that's screaming, that's a charge. But I love that this is where we're going. I mean, that couldn't be more. I mean, that's a charge or a no call. I love the no call there, too. But he's sitting right there. It's almost as if there was a meeting and they're like, look, guys, these charges are annoying. We're just never going to call them again. We're just never going to call charges again. I'm all right with that, but that defender was set. I mean, he was planted.
Swain with 12. Back to a 1-possession game.
And I still annoyingly love that it was called a block. I know I'll get killed for that, but I like offense.
You're not going to get killed for it if you're not on social media.
That's true.
You really don't know. Darion Reed, gets the bounce off the front of the rim.
You can say whatever you want behind my back. I'm all right with it.
Reed in double figures. He's got 13. The lead back to 5. Final day of January. Heart of League play has arrived. Tremont Mark now with 4.
That's bigger than you know. Just getting him going and figuring out where he's going to be able to get shots. Typically those shots in mid-range in the middle of the floor. But he has had a limited impact on this game, and that's a problem.
Nigel Pack has enjoyed a huge impact with 21. Wilcher did a great job to stay right on top of him. Now it's Reed again. The spin. Poked out by McGee and an open 3. How big was that? Xavier Brown.
McGee's done a good job of doing that. There have been a number of tip-backs that they've been able to get. Some have gone to Texas, but he's kept balls alive, and it ends up leading to an open 3. Now, I think Oklahoma was really good with Forsythe on the floor. I think he did a great job out there. He does different things, makes simple plays, but getting Brown going is key here in the second.
I'm not sure McGee knew where he was going to swat the basketball to, where it was going. Didn't matter. It landed right. Number 1's hands again. Reed to Davis, and Swain swipes it. Wilcher left open. Ooh. And Mark with Brown is tied up. It'll stay with UT.
I think Oklahoma built something with Forsythe, with the ball movement, with the spacing, with simple plays. And then once you establish that spacing starts to create open opportunities on the floor. McGee with the tap out, open 3. Oklahoma still rolling offensively.
In Oklahoma, the second half for the Sooners. Darion Reed, Nigel Pack. It has been a 1-2 punch for the Sooners in the backcourt, and perhaps needing a little bit more help from some of their teammates. But you mentioned Dayton Forsythe. He's given a spark for head coach Porter Moser in a variety of different ways today.
Well, look, I think that spark is more stability than it is a spark, right? Sometimes that's the type of spark you're looking for is stability. He came onto the floor. He makes simple plays. He moves the defense. He draws 2 off the bounce, and then he finds 1 and creates a chase.
Heidi left wide open, a great play. Out of the timeout, his 3rd 3.
Goodness, there's one guy you don't want to leave open. It's Cam Heidi. He's just been lights out, especially when he's able to step into it. And that cross-court pass was one where he was already in the pocket as he caught it.
Cam Heidi entered this game shooting 52% from 3. That average has gone up. Now 3 of 4 here in Norman.
Now what I'm watching now is what non-winning plays are made by Oklahoma, right? These are the situations that they've gotten themselves into in this 7 straight losses, and they don't make winning plays to the point where they almost make losing plays.
Wilcher switches hands and delivers. Lead back down to 1, 61-60. And Porter Moser, I think, sensing exactly what you were talking about. And we asked him, hey, as a sports psychologist, how do you deal with this when you're not having the winning plays late? We'll tell you the answer in 30 seconds. Oklahoma's been close. We've talked about it. We mentioned it to Porter Moser this morning before his extended shoot-around. He said, you know what, guys, we get to that final timeout, the under 4 media timeout in the game. We hold up the 4 fingers, and we have to recognize that every play becomes critical. You don't want to overemphasize. We got to make the right pass. We got to be in the right spot defensively, but it's a thought, and he knows that this team has to manage itself better with the game on the line, starting here in this one against Texas.
I remember that he said it now that you said it.
You didn't remember before I said it.
No, when you teased us to break, I wasn't going anywhere. I wanted to find out.
Back off the mark.
Another pass block foul.
Boy, it has gotten physical inside.
You get what I'm talking about, the pass block. It's not the box out with the backside. It's turn and face and pass block like an offensive tackle.
The left tackle.
Yeah.
The Senior Bowl today.
Look at you tying it all together.
Hey, it's a 4th foul.
Are you working that too?
I am
you
not.
Working that too?
4th foul on Heidi.
You'll talk about it on radio tomorrow morning.
Yeah, maybe so. Been known to do that. Pack gets it in to Reed. There's the 1-2 punch on cue.
Good defense.
And Weaver with the steal and the foul on Reed.
Just love him. Like, he just gives you so much. That is a tough way. That's a tough guy to defend and read, who is putting his shoulder into the body. You have to give up ground to stay on balance. He gives up ground, but gets his hand on the basketball. It's a big-time play, man. There's winning plays, right? Winning play right there. And you look at the last 2 shots for Oklahoma. That's an issue. Brown took a tough shot. And then you give up the turnover, and now you're coming this way where Texas' smaller lineup has been pretty effective offensively.
Yeah, no Vocatitis, no problem for the Horns. 8 ties, 2 lead changes so far. Swain, make it 3 lead exchanges, 62-61.
It's a much tougher cover east to west when you have the smaller lineup, and that's going to be what opens the floor for Dalen Swain.
7-0 run for the Horns. Approaching 6 minutes to play. All of a sudden, Lloyd Noble gets quiet. Xavier Brown forced that one up. Weaver controls. Here comes Texas. Who wants it? Oh, Brown does. He stole it. Ahead to Pack. And Brown on the follow-up.
I feel like we were 1 possession away from moans and groans in this building. And I would have been super annoyed. It's like, oh, do you think that helps?
A bucket by Brown on the stick back stops a scoring drought of 2.5 minutes. Here's Wilcher again. Corner 3 is pure.
Yeah, if you want to moan and groan about anything, it's really going to be the defensive end right now and starting to chase. And sometimes you chase when you want it too badly, right? Like, how do you be good? Try less type of thing. Oklahoma just has to lock in defensively and stop chasing the ball.
John, what does it tell you that Texas is shooting 74% in this second half in this comeback?
Getting better looks. It's just so simple. Yeah, they're making some tough ones, but they're getting better looks. They're getting more to the rim. They're getting the basketball moving. They're getting high percentage looks like this. Turn the corner, no one there. Open 3 opportunity. That's a high percentage 3. And there are different levels of 3s that you take. There are low percentage, there are no percentage, there are medium percentage, there are high percentage 3s. That's a high percentage 3, the same as the one that Cam Heidi got on the skip.
And I think Sean Miller's been waiting for Simeon Wilcher to kind of ignite. He's got 10 points, a couple of 3s in big moments in this game. Open 3. And Swain controls, and here's where Swain likes to get going. He'll set up the offense with Jordan Pope. Less than 5 to play. Swain off the hezzy. Swain in the air forever.
Now, Tay Davis inexcusably got hung up on a screen. You can't do it. I would go under, but if it's too low, you have to fight, get over. You can't dance and go chest bump the guy who's setting the screen. Get around it.
Back with 21. Big shot here. Make it 23.
Talk about winning plays. Giving up a basket because you don't get over a screen. That's what loses you games. So you've got to lock in here defensively. Be unscreenable.
Pope left wide open. Too easy for Texas. Horns have their largest lead at 5.
Now, pros do a good job of learning how to get around screens. They don't use their arms. They just pop around them. And sometimes it takes you off your line, but you fight back in. Nigel Pack doing the same thing. Fighting with arms around the screen and end up giving up a wide open 3. Texas starting to roll, starting to fight it. Oklahoma, don't do what you've done.
You guys are done.
Zubin, we thank you very much here in Norman, Oklahoma. You mentioned going out to that last break. John Crispin, Roy Philpott. John, you said Oklahoma don't do what you've done. And here is what they've done in these losses where they establish a double-digit lead.
Thanks for qualifying what I said and what I meant. But that's the issue. And that's why we're going to talk about winning plays here down the stretch, because every little thing matters on both ends of the floor.
Back to Reed. Great look out of the timeout. Really, 70-67.
Really nice by Reed on the sit down and just having the patience to wait to see what defenders do, because there was a lot of congestion in the paint. They all went for a shot block.
But Porter Mose over there, top of your screen, was down in his defensive stance, imploring his team on this possession. Pope left open for a second, was fouled, and a chance for 4. Jordan Pope.
And Jordan Pope has not had one of those Jordan Pope games. He was 1 of 6 from 3 coming into that shot. Now 2 of 7 for the day. That's just a tough shot. You got to scratch your head at some point if you're an OU fan, if you're Porter Mose, you're just sitting there going like, that? Really?
Well, I was going to say 8 of his 10 points coming in the second half. Opportunity for the 4-point play here. And he missed the free throw. Yelatoncic with the rebound. Oklahoma back to work. Suddenly down by 6. Sooners led by as many as 14 points. Those games, they had the double-digit advantage coming against some elite competition, including Nebraska and Alabama. They were up 16 against the Huskers, team that just lost its first game this past week. Pack forced that one up. It's an air ball.
I mean, they have the personnel to play with anybody. But the reality is, in the day of one-year teams, not everybody knows how to win. And winning is a skill. I don't care what anybody else says. Winning's a skill. It's not that easy. There are some freshmen out there that have been absolutely terrific. They're off the charts. But you still have to learn how to win, and that's doing a lot of little things right, doing them for the right reasons.
7 straight field goals made by Texas. Welcome to crunch time.
Also, communication has to be at its highest when you're tired, and that's right now.
Pope starting to feel it.
That's how you fight over a screen.
4 on the shot clock, Wilcher. Davis leapfrogs for the board. Over the back, Wilcher gets the steal.
It's not the right pass to make in that situation, especially when telegraphed making a two-handed chest pass. Everybody saw it.
Oh, the crossover by Dalen Swain. He'll lose the handle.
He didn't lose the handle. It got knocked out of his hand.
They're going to say it's Oklahoma basketball, and Swain wants a review here.
I thought it was plain as day. Unless he hit it on the way down.
Sean Miller not electing to go to the replay there. New rules, you can challenge 3 different things in college basketball this year. Pack off the screen now. Horns have it, it's Weaver.
They got to get back to movement, drive, dish, drive, kick, keep attacking until you find the right opportunity. Settling from the perimeter when the ball only stayed outside the perimeter is going to be a problem for OU.
Now it's Swain, the bounce pass, Traore. And with 10 on the timer, stays with Texas for now. Darion Reed pointing to the bench saying he believes it should be Oklahoma basketball.
What's funny is, like, if you go and look at it, you're an official, you sit there going, okay, it might be out on them, but he also got hammered, so what do we do about that?
I mean, officials are humans too.
I think the game's better when you let them be humans and stop trying to make them call games like robots. Again, put them in gray shirts, not black and white.
Swain finds a way in the paint, and the lead swells to 8. Now Swain with 18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He has initiated the offense. He has scored when Texas has needed him to. And on the attack, the other end is Davis.
Do you feel the little shift in urgency for OU on that possession? You just felt like, we need to get something. We need to get something. That's a dangerous place to be because you don't tend to make the best decisions when you're playing like that. You still have to be poised here with 1:18 left, down 8 points.
Tay Davis is yet to score in this game, averaging 13 points. And he'll get one more coming up later tonight. SEC Network, the place to be. Our highlighted matchup after a quadruple header. Ole Miss at Vanderbilt. And remember, that game was supposed to be in Oxford. They switched venues as a result of the terrible ice storm in the Magnolia State. 6 o'clock tonight. Ole Miss and Vandy, the Commodores, and Mark Byington. An incredible season after he took the doors to the dance last year in his first season in Music City. Davis, 2 for 2. All right, down 6 if you're Oklahoma. You don't need to start the foul fest just yet, do you?
No, I think you bring in defenders, and that's why Nigel Pack's going to the bench, and they're going to pick up full court. You're going to put pressure. You're going to put a little pace. You're kind of trying to maximize possessions through the final stretch of this game.
Wilcher able to beat the full court pressure. And then there's a foul. It was Davis that reached out to grab Wilcher.
Not a bad time to foul.
That's his third, and 2-7.
Now Wilcher, one of the better free throw shooters for the Longhorns this season.
The thing, if there is a good thing in this, is if you're going to be in a fouling situation, you can play offense, defense. Knowing that you're going to foul, get the clock stopped, and get you guys back in.
And Wilcher shoots 95%.
Why are you doing that? The guy shoots 95%. That's Traore getting in there too quickly. There's no reason to do it. You have a 95% free throw shooter on the line. I would stand there like a statue and not move if I have a 95% free throw shooter on.
Amounts to be a turnover for the Horns. And a brand new game. Here's Davis. Weaver skies for the rebound and is quickly fouled.
My guy.
He makes things happen.
He just makes things happen, and he never doesn't play hard, right? He's just after every loose ball. He seems to just be where the ball is, whether it's a loose ball on the floor or a rebound, and you don't have to do anything for it. I think we spend a lot of money on a bunch of players that need a lot. And the real value is in the guys that don't need that much and still give you quite a bit.
Weaver set to shoot the free throw. 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists tonight. Less than a minute remaining. And a timeout on the floor here in Norman. Today, but for Sean Miller, you win a road game in the SEC. You win a road game in the Red River rivalry. There's a lot of boxes checked no matter how it gets done.
Unquestionably, you win a game. I think sometimes we get so caught up in the resume and what this game is versus other games. You're still in January, albeit the last day of January. Wins matter. Stack up wins, and the resume looks better, regardless of whatever they are. You play in the SEC. There's going to be a billion opportunities throughout the course of the season to get good wins. Just go win games and build upon it. I think there are things you can build upon here. If I'm Texas, I'm going kind of feel pretty good about what we can do without having our big on the floor. Montas Titus hasn't done much, and they've been better. No, I don't mean this going forward, but they've been better in this contest with the smaller lineup and better movement.
Well, contributions from Wilcher, and we talked about what Heidi has done in terms of three-point shooting recently. Weaver missed the front end, still a 6-point game. Sooners need a bucket. Xavier Brown. Traore right on top of him. Contested 3, no. In every moment where OU has had a chance to cut into that advantage for the Horns, we've had a shot like that.
I think Nigel Pack has to have the ball in his hands. Nigel Pack has the kind of the craftiness to be able to get a shot or get fouled, but also create. He can draw defenders. I think he's got to have the ball in his hands and be less of a decoy in that situation. You need a shot. There were too many bodies around the basketball, and your best player needs the ball in his hand.
You can feel Oklahoma pressing in these final 3 minutes.
Honestly, it was the last 4. We just started to feel like we really need a good shot here, and that's a problem.
Swain 6 of 7 at the line, now 7 of 8.
And there's a difference in a game as a player when you go, all right, it's time to get a good look, right? There's a certain mentality that follows that. But when you need one, it's almost too late. .20 points for Dalen Swain. A very quiet 20, but efficient. He's been incredible for Sean Miller, and frankly, I don't know where the team is without Dalen Swain.
Xavier Brown tried to use the rim as protection. Weaver clears it, and now Swain, 4 straight games with 20 points or more. He came in averaging 28 in his last 3. So Dalen Swain starts to emerge now, not only at Texas, but in the SEC, transferring in with his head coach from Xavier. And I think Sean Miller's fortunate to have him in this conference moving forward with what we were starting to see from number 3 in Burnt Orange.
Yeah, he's also like a rotational unifier, right? Like, so you go to a smaller lineup, and it allows him to be even better at what he does. You bring in Vokatitis, and he does things a little bit differently, but he's unifying with regardless of the lineup that you're going with or the rotation you're going with. And I think if guards learn how to play more off him, they'll get better looks and shoot a higher percentage. In theory, at least.
Baylor, West Virginia coming up as soon as we're done. And Norman Brown off the mark in a game in which Oklahoma once led by 14. Sooners on the wrong end of a 79-69 score. And credit Texas, they absorbed that early body blow. And the Horns rallied. It was a 3-point game at halftime. It has been all Horns in the final 20 minutes.
Here's what I want to say about Oklahoma. They're not being beaten as much as they're losing games. Like, they're right there. I think there are times where you go, man, we got beat, right? We chased the entire game. They're not chasing the entire game. They're not being beaten. They're just not winning games.
Round 1 of the Red River rivalry goes to Texas. 7 straight wins in this arena. 79-69 the final. And the Horns now with their 4th SEC victory of the year. And a comeback by 14 points here.
I think if you're Sean Miller, you feel really good about that based on the fact that you didn't start the game well, and you did a lot of this without having a big contribution from Vokatitis. So good performance for Texas.
For John Crispin, I'm Roy Philpott. We say so long from Norman. Let's get you to Baylor, West Virginia. Eric Breed, Mark